Well, our next guest, of course, is the pride of boys Latin. He had a stop in there at Loyola, and just this past off season, he signed a new 4-year deal with the Memphis Grizzlies. He's a national champ. He is one of the most intense humans I've ever seen. He's Cam Spencer, and he's with us now here on GCR. Cam, it's Glenn. It's great to see you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me on.
Dude,
Really looking forward to it.
Dude, I've been wanting to catch up with you for a while. I have to just get. Where does it come from? You know, I've talked to your brother about it a million times.
Yeah.
Like, how is it in you that you are just this intense, like every moment of every day?
Yeah. I think it starts with the family that I was raised in, growing up with two brothers. It was, you didn't
Wait,
want to lose in anything.
is Will secretly like more intense than either one of you somehow?
It just depends on what we're doing, but
Okay.
if we're doing video games, he's pretty intense as well. And he's much better than Pat and I at those. So, it's just a brotherly competition. I mean, we're just competitive people by nature, but I've had it from such a young age. Pat being 4 years older than me, I was always trying to beat him, but 4 years is a lot, as a kid. So it was a lot of losing, and a lot of fights growing up. So I think it's just in our DNA.
Do you remember the first time that you ever beat him at anything?
I would just go back to like, I mean, basketball, like one on one. There's nothing more personal and more like competitive than one on one in anything, but
Yeah.
especially basketball. So, I would say until like maybe senior year of high school or even college was like, my first time beating him on the basketball court. And it, like I said, it typically ended in a fight. But yeah,
You know what,
good
man?
times.
It's brothers, dude. Like that's the way
I
that it
know.
works.
We say we fight with each other. We're gonna damn near kill each other when we're playing against one another.
Yeah.
But once we're cheering the other one on, we're their
Yeah.
biggest fans. So
As soon
yeah,
as the
we love
fight's
each other.
over, you tell each other you love each other. That's the way that it works.
Literally.
Cam, I've always had this weird feeling, and Pat and I've talked about it a few times. That like in a way, that's what gives you your joy. A lot of people would say like you don't see Cam smiling a lot. Like my gut tells me that it's that insane place that you go to that like it's almost a weird joy that you get from being in that place. Am I on to something in that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like a competitive disease, honestly. Like there's nothing fun about like playing basketball or playing golf, but like when you play well, that's an enjoyable feeling. But
Yeah.
like when you don't play well, it's like there's nothing fun about it. So I do take it very seriously, and like I said, it's just a competitive nature that you have. Like losing sucks, and I don't want to be near it.
I love it, man. I love it. Cam Spencer is with us. Cam, speaking of you and your brother, you guys last year got to go up against each other for the first time. And I know it's been a little while, but we haven't had a chance to chat about it. Can you describe? I know in the moment, it probably, there was no joy, right? But like afterwards, that feeling of, my God, we're both doing this. We both made it, and we've accomplished what we always said we would, and we got to go up against each other. Can you put that into words?
Yeah, it was a surreal feeling. I mean, when we first got subbed in together, I went to guard him full court, and there's a weird feeling of like, obviously, I want to beat him, and I want to win, but at the same time, I'm always rooting for his success. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want to steal the ball? Do you not want to steal the ball kind of thing? At the end of the day, like once that ball goes in, it's you're in another focus level and another level of intensity. So you're just trying to do anything to win. But I think it probably hit us both after when we, traded jerseys and signed it for each other and wrote each other a message. And I think it, might have hit us then. That it was a pretty cool moment. But we're competitive people. This is, the beginning of the journey for us, and we think we have a long way to go.
To take nothing away from your own talent and ability, how much do you guys both feel like you might not be able to have made it to this point without having the other one to sharpen you along the way?
Yeah, I can speak for myself on that one. I know I wouldn't be here without Pat and Will, and especially Pat for like I said, he's 4 years older than me. I was able to learn from his experiences, and I mean, he's the ultimate, role model and just gave me so much great guidance and still does to this day. I'm always seeking help from him and I know for me, I would not be here without him. So super appreciative and love him to death.
It's awesome, man. You get a 4-year deal from the Grizzlies, right? Like, what does that mean to you? I know you're the type that you still feel like you have to prove something, like that nothing, but like what to know that this organization is that invested in you, what does that mean to you?
Means a lot. Yeah, like you said, anything long term in professional sports is a great thing. I want to be here for my whole career, and they showed the belief in me, and I'm gonna prove them right every single day, and continue to try to prove people wrong. That's my thing. But it's awesome to, like I said, to be here for 3 or 4 years. I'm super excited to go to war with this organization, and we're gonna leave it all out there on the floor for them.
What about the other part of it, which is that you get to do it with Santi? Like, again, of all of the ways that this could have gone, that you guys end up together in Memphis, like, this seems like almost like one of those things where it like had to be like predestined, you know? Like, this is crazy to me.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, to be honest, when we had played our last game together at Loyola, I never knew, I didn't think that we would play another game together or share the floor. Um, and it's just pretty cool that, we took our two unique paths
Yeah.
and they ended up coming back together. Obviously, congrats to him. He just signed a 3-year
Yeah.
deal. So we'll have plenty of years on the floor together. And he's just fun to play with. He's a great friend of mine. We were roommates back at Loyola. So, I can't say enough good things about him and super happy that, I have a few more years with him at least.
He's not as intense as you though. Like that I know of. Like from my
Yeah.
memories, what is the dynamic between the two of you? Because it comes off personality wise, like again from a basketball standpoint. Because I don't know you quite as well personally as I do Santi, but like it seems like you guys couldn't be more polar opposites.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say I'm on the more intense side.
Yeah.
But he's got some fire to him as well. If something doesn't go his way or whatever, something on the floor, like he's a competitor too. So I think we do share the same fire. It's just, you know, as a competitor, I'm gonna say, I'm probably a little bit more intense, but he's a great dude on and off the floor.
It's probably hard to compete with your level of intensity. There's probably not a lot of guys that can match up with that. Cam, this group? I mean, like I think a lot of people from the outside look at it and say there's a real opportunity. How much do you guys feel that? And maybe even seeing like a team a year ago win their first championship, do you feel like this group could be the next to break down that door?
100%. I think you saw last year with Indiana, OKC,
Yeah.
Minnesota, like the small market teams are really making a name for themselves. And I think it just shows like if you build a good culture, you draft the right guys who are about winning and are about each other, then you can win championships. So I think we're on a great path. Feeling really good about this team this year, and a really really tight knit group, connected, and I think we're gonna make some noise for sure.
It's ironic because I feel like you're the definition of chip on your shoulder, but like we talk all the time about anybody who's from here, from the Baltimore area, feeling like they have kind of a chip on their shoulder because most of these guys have been overlooked, right? I would imagine it's kind of a similar thing. You bring up the small market, like, do you feel a kind of connection to Memphis, to that community, and being overlooked? And does it remind you of sort of your own story, your own path coming from here growing up?
No doubt. I think that was like one of my favorite things about first coming to Memphis when they drafted me was they always had that blue collar nature about them and that they played with that edge. You could tell like they had a chip on their shoulder. They wanted to prove people wrong, and I think our team has that, and this organization and city has that. So, very similar to our Baltimore roots, like you said. I think if we're just in Tennessee versus in the Northeast.
Right? Like, I mean, it really does. It feels like there's something very similar there. And obviously, we're all rooting for you guys now. Like, that's the way that it works because there's two of you. We have to. We need to make that happen next. Did you know? You guys aren't anywhere similar age wise. Like, did you have any connection? I know you guys went up against the Pelicans. Did you have any connection with Derik Queen at all?
No, he actually asked me at the free throw line. He said, you did you go to Boys Latin? And I said, yeah, but obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to talk during the game. I'm not your friend at that point. So after the game, I had said, I'd forgotten that he went to St. Francis, but
Yeah.
during the game, yeah, we're not friends, so I'm not looking to chat too much.
I love
But
Dude, do you know how much it makes me happy that it's not like this is not pro wrestling to you? Like
Yeah.
this is you are who you are. Like, and Derek, I know is a really friendly guy. He's actually on the show today too, ironically.
Okay.
But like he's a really friendly guy, and I have no doubt like he's just trying to be friendly, and you're like, bro, no, like
Yeah,
it's
like
just
I gave him, I said, yeah, maybe answered whatever you had said. I think, did you go to Boys Line? I said, yeah. A quick answer, but otherwise, I'll talk to you after the game, maybe after if we win. If we lose, I'll probably, we'll have to wait a little while before we can talk. But no, he's a good kid and representing Baltimore well.
obviously, right? Like I think we all felt a little bit of that. I'm from Baltimore. That's why that he let out last year.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you do? Is there any like board game, card game where you're not on 10, where like you do let your guard down a little bit at all?
No, I mean like we talk about playing golf. I love golf. I love playing cards, but I love playing poker. But like if you're gonna invest time and energy and focus into something, then like what's the point of doing it if you're not trying to win or like, be successful at it? So, like I said, it's a competitive itch, disease, whatever you want to call it. But if we're doing something with competition, is always the goal is to win.
This is why you're in the NBA and I'm doing this for a living. It's because
Whatever it is in life, whatever, that's my belief, but you're killing it as well, so I appreciate it.
I your brother and I talked this summer. I know the two of you have kind of and all your entire family, Will, your parents, like you've gotten together to try to do some good things for our community, for some people that need it. Can you tell me a little bit about how that came about and why it was something that was important to you guys?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate it. We started the Spencer Brothers Foundation. We grew up, near the Annapolis area. We went to school in Baltimore. Obviously, feel like we're a part of both of those communities. But we had a lot of people go to the Naval Academy or at least in the military in our lives. And so that's the mission of our foundation is to give back to service members, veterans, and just that whole crew. So we do an annual golf and poker event. We got to keep it, on the.
I was
We
gonna
love
say,
our sport.
are you as intense during the charity event?
We pull it back a little bit, it's for charity, but we had a cool thing where we were hitting shots against each group. We did just a charity golf outing, and had so much great support from family and friends, and raised some money for a good cause. But to bring it back to Baltimore, we're actually going to start our first annual Spencer Brothers basketball camp next summer
That's awesome,
at Boys Latin High School where we all went. So
dude.
that's that'll be next mid-July, and we're looking forward to having plenty of kids out there to help give back and hopefully introduce them into basketball.
That's awesome, man. That's incredible. I'm so glad you're doing that, and we will continue to lift up anything we can for you to get the word out about that because that's the stuff that matters most.
Thank you, man.
Normally, when I get to the end, I ask everybody to plug where people can follow them, but I happen to know you don't do any of that. You're not doing
Yeah,
any of that.
I don't. I would give you one. I don't have any social media, so nowhere. Like I said, the basketball camp would love to have some people or kids come out to that, and then the foundation are the two things that we kind of look to promote.
SpencerBrothersFoundation.org is how you found out more about it, and it's an awesome thing you guys are doing. Tell your mom I said hello. She's always been nothing but wonderful to me over the years. We can't wait to see you guys back on campus. I know you're going to be busy for a while. I know
Yeah,
that's how it works, but I have no doubt at some point soon we'll see you back on campus. Cam, thank you as always, man. Continued awesome success to you, and appreciate you taking the time for us this morning.
for sure, man. Thank you for all the support, and we love Baltimore to death, so try to represent you well.